Classic 102.7, the Entrepreneurs Network, and with me in the studio right now, CEO of EME, Keith Levenstein. Keith, welcome to the show again.
Thank you. Good evening, Tony.
Now, we're talking about which particular aspect of BE this evening?
The business opportunities that arise out of BEE or becoming BE compliant, particularly with regard to exempt micro enterprises.
Okay.
An exempt micro enterprise, as most people know, are companies that generally have an annual turnover of less than 5 million rand.
Okay.
I must point out that under certain circumstances, and depending on the industry, that threshold does change. So if you're in the building industry, as an architect, your threshold is 1.5 million. And if you are in the transport industry, the tourism industry, for example, a bed and breakfast, your threshold is 2.5 million. But either way, if you're an exempt micro enterprise with an average turnover below the 5 million, you're automatically exempt from all aspects of BEE, which means you don't have to build up a scorecard, you don't have to earn points on procurement, ownership, management, etc. All you need to do is inform your client or your customer that you are a exempt micro enterprise, and it needs to be written up in the right way. This particular subject tonight, I thought of because I was talking recently to somebody I know is a listener of this program, and he's an exempt micro enterprise, and he was complaining that he isn't able to get business from some of the large companies. And he said to me, I'm an exempt micro enterprise, why don't I get the business? They tell me that I have to be BE compliant.
Okay. Yeah, and how is the best way to communicate that to them? I mean, it's a legal fact, so if they don't know that, it's a very difficult one.
It is, effectively what it means is that anybody who falls within that category of exempt micro enterprise needs to write up a letter or a document that needs to be signed by his accountant or his auditor or a verification agency or himself and certified by Commission of Oaths, stating under oath that his annual turnover is indeed below 5 million rand and therefore he is an exempt micro enterprise, and also in addition he is therefore level 4 on the BE scorecard. If he doesn't say all of this, it won't necessarily get accepted by these big corporates, and we know that the big corporates have large procurement divisions, people whose job is to collect the documentation, and it's not their job to ask you, are you an exempt micro enterprise, and write up the documentation. If you don't give that information to your customer, almost as a marketing brochure,
for sure,
you're not the customer isn't going to accept it, and in some ways give you a hard time.
Is it not possible, though, that the big companies that, so far for this listener that you speak about, is it not possible that the big companies are saying, well, we prefer to have people doing work for us that are BE compliant, in spite of the fact that they don't have to be if they fall in under that EME category status?
Very much so. The large corporate desperately needs to do business with these small businesses. They themselves will earn extra points by doing business with us smaller businesses and the entrepreneurs. So they really want to find these companies, but what they're not going to do in a large company with maybe 5,000 suppliers, they're not going to call every single supplier and say, are you below 5 million rand? And if you are that, then I want to do business with you. I think it's more, and this is where the business opportunity comes along, us small businesses need to talk to those large companies and say, please do business with me because I am a level 4 and because I am automatically exempt, and this is my documentation. If I don't provide that to my customer is not going to be very keen on doing business with me.
Then in turn, how can they benefit, the big companies that are using your services as an EME, how in turn do they benefit on their scorecard? Where's the benefit for them?
The benefit is on the procurement side of their scorecard. As we know, procurement is worth 20 points to a large company, and those 20 points are broken down into 4 different categories. And there are 3 extra points available of those 20 to doing business with exempt micro enterprises, or of course the QSEs, that's a slightly larger company, that have a BE scorecard. So it just makes it so much easier for companies to reach their targets if they do business with small businesses. But unfortunately, a lot of small businesses, one-man businesses, family-owned businesses, see themselves as, I can't comply and I don't want to do anything. All they need to do is write up the letter.
When in actual fact they automatically comply.
Exactly, they're automatically compliant, and they are level 4, which is quite a good level from a procurement viewpoint.
The exclusions again, I know you said that at the beginning, but what are the exclusions again?
All right, if you're If you're in an average business, so your turnover is below 5 million rand, that is audited or signed off figures for the last financial year. If your turnover is below 5 million rand, you're automatically a level 4 BE contributor, simply by stating that exact fact. If you happen to be a black-owned listener to our program and a black-owned company, then you actually are level 3, which is even better. If you happen to be in the tourism industry, you own a small bed and breakfast, for example, the threshold is 2.5 million rand. And then finally, if you're in the construction industry as an architect or a quantity surveyor, then that threshold is 1.5 million. But other than those slight exclusions, the average exclusion or exempt level is 5 million rand, which is quite a lot. And we know that the majority of businesses, in terms of numbers, are below that level. If only they would write up the documents in the right way and use it as a marketing tool to their customers.
How is the best way? Where can people get advice on writing up that document then?
Well, they can, of course, as always, visit our website, which is www.econobee.co.za. And they can talk to any consultant or their accountant or ourselves, of course, but anybody who can simply give that particular document some type of authenticity to say your company's turnover is below 5 million rand and therefore you are automatically exempt to level 4.
I would imagine if they also go to their bank and speak to the business department, business manager, or financial advisor in the business section of the bank, they would also be up to speed with all of this.
Certainly they should be.
And they can certify it.
I'd certainly expect them to. It is an extra service that any bank or any investment organisation could give to the small businesses. If only the small businesses would just be a bit proactive and go along and ask for that.
Well, I think it's great advice for the EME. There's small businesses that think that the BE thing is a problem for them. It's great for you to come along and give this advice and for them to find out that actually, if they advertise, as you said, draw up some kind of marketing strategy using it to your advantage, you know?
Yeah. And, if I can, I'll give you in about 30 seconds the exact wording that they need to put onto their letter. It would be something like, we, the name of the company, state that our annual turnover for the latest financial year was below 5 million rand. Therefore, in terms of the BEE codes of good practice, we are classified as an exempt micro enterprise and we are therefore level 4. And that is all that is necessary, as long as it is signed and it is true.
Okay.
As long as it is signed and is true, every single large company would be only too happy to receive that document.
And also verified by someone else, as in, commissioner of oaths, or a bank manager, or an accountant, or auditor, or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, Keith wasn't reading that. He did that from memory. That was quite good, I must be honest. So give us your website again, Keith, would you?
Yes, it is www.econobee.co.za.
Simple as that, and there's advice there, and any further updates, of course, you always put them up on your website with regard to changes for SMEs and entrepreneurs and so on, with regard to BE.
Absolutely, we always do that.
It's a constant thing. And do you foresee any changes that may come our way in terms of entrepreneurs and SMEs, that the impact of any changes in BE?
Nothing much that has happened since we last chatted, which was about a month ago, when the Minister indicated that they would be looking at re-evaluating BE in some way, but not too terribly much has happened in the past month. BE is still going along at a slow rate, unfortunately. Right now, there are now 40 verification agencies that have been accredited, up from about 26 exactly a year ago. So again, it's all at a slightly slower pace. Maybe after the World Cup, with all our motivation, we're going to get going again.
We'll see. Keith Levenstein, CEO of EconoBee. Thanks for being here on the Entrepreneurs Network.
Thank you very much, Tony.
We need your help to track down Classic 102.7's most wanted songs. Visit classic.co.za to let us know what songs you want to hear. Each week we give you 10 tracks and ask you to rank them in order of your favorite. Then listen to Tony Blewitt every Monday to hear the top 5 songs you voted for. And while you're online, have your say in the Classic 102.7 poll. Visit www